Welcome to a comic book look. Alright guys, issue 33. We're coming straight at you. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My name is Tom, this is John, and we're here to talk about comics. This is our weekly TV show on comic books and anything relating to comics. And, we a lot of times get in viewer mail and different things like that, because we always ask you guys for good ideas. And there was a good one that one of our viewers,
AJ Jackson.
AJ Jackson, he's been around for a while, and we appreciate him. Thanks, of course, for watching and giving us ideas. And he submitted a good email.
Definitely.
So we're gonna do a show on his email. And what did that say, Johnny boy?
Well, what we were asked was, I guess in our opinion, our humble opinion, no, but he just kind of wanted to know what our thoughts were on the top 10 villains and heroic heroes, and this will prove to be an interesting showcase of LOLs and tears of joy and realization when I school Tom on the true art of what it means to be a hero and or a villain. So I think that I think I'm gonna get my ass handed to me on this one, but it'll be an interesting show. So
of course you're gonna get your ass handed to you, like I always hand it to you.
I hate you.
But yeah, we're doing top 10 personal villains, top 10 personal heroes. He was asking maybe top 5 of the all-time best, and the best anti-hero. Well, we didn't really go into that deep, and we couldn't tell you the top best of all time because
everyone's different.
It has to be to yourself. So, if you ask me 2 weeks from now, my list would probably change. And I mean, that's just how it is. That's how I am. My top movies are always changing. Same with top comics. And so, but this is as of today, as of this show being released, this is my top favorite villains and heroes. And let's cut out the hero talk at all.
Yeah, no
hero
talk.
Because we're talking villains. This is the comic book looks. Boom, boom, boom. First ever 2-parter. And so this first issue is going to be villains. Next issue will be heroes. So let's start off with villains. Top 10 of the all-time greatest villains in our own minds. So Johnny boy, you want to start off number 1?
Number 1 or number 10?
Oh yeah, number 10. Okay. Oh, we're counting down, of course.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, I did not get it.
Whoops.
Okay. First of all, already have a hitch in the giddy of.
Skylar wasn't even involved in this one, man.
No, Skylar. I told Skylar I was. Oh, Skylar. I was telling him what villains I wanted to write down, and he wrote it down for me, and he didn't even put it in order. Skylar completely didn't put mine in order. What a fucking idiot. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on the fly. So okay, number 10. I can do that. So maybe I might have wrote all my names down randomly. 10 of the random ones. Okay. I picked a number 1.
This is a shit, man. Go for it.
Okay.
Oh man.
You have to go for it. I gotta pick my number 10.
Alright. Well, my number 10 for top 10 villains is the White Queen before she went Sally Sue. Meaning, that rich chick. Cleavage flying everywhere. Wealth, men lay down on the ground on their stomachs and she walks over them in stilettos. That's the kind of White Queen, Hellfire all the way. So
lame.
That's my number 10. Shut up. I put that into my list. Let's hear yours.
At least you made a list. Okay, so maybe I can't be calling yours lame right away. But I don't like Emma Frost. You're going to go number 10, Emma Frost right away. Okay, well, I will do number 10. I'm choosing Captain Cold, Rogues Gallery, Flash. Captain Cold is the man. He has sick 80s glasses that with the little squinty eyes that, like, if he was young and he came in there with that coat with the hood, with the fur, he would actually just be just a number 1 baller at an electronica show and just, like, dominating the crowd with those glasses. You could see there, like, be black light. And I just love Captain Cold. He's a badass. The number 1 part of the Rogues, it feels like the rest of the Rogues are idiots, and he's always like a step ahead of everybody, and he has to always deal with the other Rogues for and somehow the Flash, who is basically unstoppable because he can run it, limitedly faster than anybody could ever think, and Captain Cold, who has a freeze gun and is a human basically. Other than that, can still take on the Flash sometimes. That is also awesome, and he's just also. I like the fact that he's not even like that bad. He's not like a really bad guy. I feel like if he really hurt a bunch of people, he'd feel really bad about it. So, he's more of like a robber. He likes to steal, and he likes to get at the Flash. Like old school Silver Age kind of shit.
Did him and Mr. Freeze get along? Have they ever met?
Oh, I guarantee they have met, somewhere along the lines. I haven't personally read the comic. You guys can tell us which one it is, but, it's like that gimmick has had to have come about sometime. Definitely, but that's my number 10 for villains. Top 10 villains, weak.
Nice.
You gotta start a little weaker and get to the top.
Exactly, get to the good stuff. Number 9, I put Venom. And Venom's not higher on the list because, quite frankly, his line sucks right now. The Circle of 4 looks incredibly weak. I'm not a fan of that new line right now. Remember, I tried like 1 through 5 or something, and I just fell out of love with the character in terms of current material. I still worship the old stuff, of course, and of course the Dark Avengers stuff. But this new stuff was just not my thing.
Yeah, I am actually really surprised at that because you are a huge Venom fan, just in general. Granted, the new shit has been crazy bad, and so I gotcha.
And the movie cameo was awful.
Yeah, the anti-Venom stuff has been a little bit better, but they kind of just lost that. And I'm with you. That's kind of crazy, though. He's like one of your favorites of all time, man. You got him at number 9. So I can't wait to see what else is on this list. So that's cool. It's a good choice. I like it. I like the number 9 choice, Venom. It's going to pique my interest to hear what else is on here.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, it does, huh? All right. I'm going to go with number 9er on the list, Magneto. Magneto's obviously a badass. Right now, I think he's a hero. He might be a villain because there's like a book that says he's a villain, and I don't know. He's been a hero for a while. He's always borderline, but he's originally, we're talking Jack Kirby, Stan Lee villain. He was the guy against the X-Men, leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Love that Magneto. He can control metal. And do all other sorts of powers. I mean, in those first X-Men comics, he was able to leave his body psychically and then meet up with Charles Xavier wherever he wanted psychically, and they could both leave their body and bring it to the astral plane or whatever they called it. And that's awesome as well. And even though they could have done everything with metal right off the bat, they already just are throwing in all these crazy things. And I love that Magneto. So that's my number 9. I'm a Star Wars fan anyway, so X-Men. I bring them hand in hand because I love them so much. But X-Men, it's kind of like that same thing. X-Men is so good, and then they like do so much shit to it that you want to hate them for it. Yeah. But you still have to love the X-Men. And I dropped Uncanny X-Men. I'm so mad at them, but I still love X-Men. For some reason. Same with Star Wars, and the same reason we knew that the episode 1 was bad, but we still went to it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, number 9, Magneto.
Well, number 8 on my side, I put Dr. Octopus. Flawed genius, science gone wrong. And his latest appearances, he just looks amazingly decrepit. And what does he have, like 6 arms instead of 4? He has more than typical, and he just goes after Tony Stark left and right. And that's a cool villain to me. He's like deathly ill. He's probably dead by now, but some of his cameos lately, like in Avengers Academy, that was fun. Just to see him a little bit again. So I've always liked that character. And it was cool. Spider-Man 2. I love that fight scene with Doc Ock. That was well done, I thought. So. And
I remember back in the day, he was in the cartoons and stuff and the books. I remember I had like this Where's Waldo, except it was like all Spider-Man, and there was one of these things that were just had like crazy Dr. Octopus robots everywhere, and he was in there. Like from that time, I've always bbeen super intrigued with Dr. Octopus.
Nice. He's a good character. It's cool.
Yeah. He didn't make my list because I don't read Spider-Man, and I mean that's where he's known for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's Spider-Man villain. In Spider-Man, everybody is a big thing about me. Everybody was like, who hears that I read comics and stuff assumes that I am Spider-Man is one of the biggest superheroes out there, and I just don't read Spider-Man. I've never really read Spider-Man. I've read other people's Spider-Man comics, but there's never been a time where I bought Spider-Man.
Totally.
I went to the library and read Spider Island, thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
And so, so I don't have a lot of those other villains unless I see them cross over on the other things I've read. I mean, I know who they all are, but, it's the shared world of the Marvel continuity is why I know. And so, what was that, number 8?
That was number 8.
Okay, so I gotta find a number 8.
That was awesome.
We're gonna go number 8 is The Shade. Starman character. Here's The Shade. This is the new series that's coming out. And he's no longer a villain, so it's hard to even put him there.
Right.
But he is a villain. I mean, that's where he came from. He has been a villain for a very, very long time. He's been a part of the DC universe since the Golden Age. And so I think he's a great character. I love what James Robinson did in his very long run and turned Shade into such a deep and awesome character. And so yes, the Shade makes my number 8. And the only reason he's not higher is because he's not really so bad anymore. He's not so bad that he's not such a bad villain.
Yeah.
But you can't put him on the hero side by any means. He's almost like I don't know what you'd call it, somebody who just does something for them, an opportunist, is basically what he is now. And he kind of still has some feelings that he doesn't know where they're coming from, and loyalties that he stays true, but for the most part he's an opportunist. But I still put him under the villains, and I think he's great. Shade has the control shadows, and so he can move shadows and do all these sorts of different things. And I mean, in this first series, he gets cut up right away and looks like he's going to die, but right away reforms his whole entire body because he's lived for a very, very long time. He's been around forever, and I think that is so intriguing about characters that live for a very long time. They end up having so much more knowledge than someone who lives a normal lifespan. That I think that is a really intriguing characteristic about characters, bad or good, but the Shade in general. So yeah, he's totally my number 8.
Nice.
Yep. 7.
Number 7, Poison Ivy.
Ooh, nice.
Environmentalist. Go green. She makes it fun. She's a great character. Right now she's rocking it out in Birds of Prey. Always referred to as a psychotic terrorist, so obviously I'm drawn to that character. As a reader, an evil reader, I suppose.
Yep.
But no, I've always loved her character. I even liked the movie where Uma Thurman played her. I like Poison Ivy. I think she's a great character. It's a breath of fresh air, from the Superman and tights and stuff. You got someone that rocks the toxins and the plants, and I just think that's really cool. And they could take it in all sorts of directions, and they have been lately. So I love that direction. I love that character. So that's my number 7.
Oh yeah, that's a good number 7. But I have to clarify. So, do you like that movie, or do you like Uma Thurman playing her?
If anyone else is playing Poison Ivy, I'd like it just as much. I just like the fact that she was that character.
That you got to see
play
play Poison Ivy, okay? Because that movie.
No, yeah,
Weak.
no, okay. I mean that's fine, but
I
I like having the character on her.
Like it's weak enough that I own it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that weak.
Yeah.
But
I have it too.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I liked Uma Thurman a lot, but I didn't like that movie as much as I could have.
No, that's cool, dude.
Potentially liked. But anyway, whatever. That's here nor there. We're doing top 10 villains.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 7.
Yeah.
We'll go number 7. Just kind of like throwing it out there because whatever.
Can't believe you did that, man.
I don't know why I did that. We'll go Dr. Doom. That feels too soon. Oh! I dropped it. I can't stop it now.
10 Commandments.
Damn it. It's
stone.
okay. I'm sorry, Doom. I don't know. I love Doom. As you guys know, I'm a Fantastic Four fan. I've probably... Really?
Nah.
I have more Fantastic Four comics probably than anything else. Even though I love the mutants, I probably still have more Fantastic Four. Nah, I don't know. Probably more mutants.
Yeah.
But like, I have mutants over a bunch of different titles where I have Fantastic Four for a very long time, and the main character. I mean, there's obviously they have a lot of main villains, but I mean, one that is closest is Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom is such an interesting character in the fact that he has his own country where he can go. People know where you find Doctor Doom, and he is the people of Latveria or whatever. Latveria. You know, they are under the rule of the dictator of Doom, but they still like Doom, and they like where where they live, and they think he's like a good guy.
Uh-huh.
And I think that is just so funny. So, like, you know, he's like, could be like a part of the United Nations, and he's like, yeah, I'm Dr. Doom, I just killed millions, and like, terrorized tons of countries, and tried to take over the world endless amounts of times, but yes, I'm here in the United Nations, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think that's kind of funny about him. Also, he's badass. I like how he's also almost playing that Magneto character, where he's borderline with the Fantastic Four. He's always ends up teaming up with them and working with them. And I mean, him and Valeria have a really close relationship.
Did you ever find out how the name is pronounced?
No.
Valeria, whatever.
I say fuck it, and I pronounce it different every time. Just like Locus Mortis busted us last time for, I said Terry Moore and Tony Moore so many different times. Terry Moore, awesome. Rachel Rising, right now, great work. Tony Moore, the other one, who I was trying to talk about. It happens, okay? Sorry. Alright. Anyway, but that's who I dropped as number 7, I guess, because I don't have a list. Alright.
Number 6, Carnage. Please, Cassidy. How?
Carnage gets above Venom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, these books lately, just slaughtering the innocent. I should have almost put him on the other list, man.
What?
I don't know, Carnage is amazing. It's such a good comeback for comics. Like, finally a character that's being true to himself. It's about time. You know what I mean? Because some of these villains lately, they've been so cupcake soft, you know what I mean?
Did you say slaughtering the innocent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay,
So
you don't
evil.
think the villagers are innocent then, huh? You
So
must know
evil.
something.
No, I'm saying so evil.
Oh.
You.
Yeah.
It's so good. He's just slaughtering the innocent.
Well, I'm just saying as a reader on behalf
No,
of
I
the
know.
character, you know what I mean? Like, it's about time someone started singing their own song again. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I know. I never. Once again, don't read Spider-Man Carnage, but a friend of ours at our where we used to work at a big giant evil corporation. They used to. Everybody would see us reading comics and be like, oh, I have comics. I got some comics. And then they bring in, like a stack of comics from the 90s or whatever. And be like, is this worth a bunch of money? Be like, no.
Who was it?
Ryan. And,
You're dropping names.
and, it was fun. But we at least gotta always read all these comics, and we gotta read the Maximum Carnage crossover about 3 years ago.
He's never gonna see this.
And it was it was so terrible, but so awesome at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it can be really, really, really fun. And then also, it can just Carnage can be such a terrible character in the same sense that he's just like kill, I don't know, but hey, that's what you're super evil, and you have you're
a bad person.
Obviously, I am a rebel, and you're on the dark side. I mean, it's very simple.
Very. Your numbers. Wait.
As you guys
Number
may see,
6.
I'm wearing my Hansicle shirt. This is Han trapped in carbonite on a popsicle stick.
That's so messed up. I love it.
It's a Hansicle. Who doesn't love a Hansicle? Honey, come and get your Hansicle. That's what I say to my daughter when she wants a popsicle.
That's awesome.
Okay, but anyway, what are we on, number 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6. Number 6, we're going to go with Vandal Savage.
Okay.
Vandal Savage, awesome villain to me. I love when he appears. He's been like a conqueror forever, but always plotting for the bad. He is another one of those characters. Why I like him so much is I'm just realizing now is he likes to Shane. He's been around forever. That's his thing. He's immortal. He lives forever. He's been around forever. He knows everything. He's been around, everything. There's a lot of cool things where you can place things in the past with him, and then it can fruit hundreds of years later. And those storylines are really fun when they do that. Paul Cornell did a really good job with him, with Lex Luthor and his Action Comics run right before the big anniversary issue. I think it was 900. And then there's just been a lot of fun things that Vandal Savage, whenever he shows up, I like it. And he's had family, and he has a whole thing around him, and I don't know. It's cool. So that's going to be my number 6. If that's what we're on. Yeah. So I got 5 left. I'm going to try to think what year.
Are you ready for my number 5? This is...
Drop it.
Drop bombs. Are you sure you're ready for this? I don't know if you're...
I'm
Skylar's
ready.
Not ready for this. He's already quivering in his boots over there.
Right, I'm ready.
My number 5 villain is Laserbeak.
Is who?
Laserbeak is the tape that comes out of Soundwave the Decepticon, and it's the bird. And it's the coolest thing ever, because that bird is just so bitchy and always angry, and I love it. Like, Laserbeak goes by the Autobots, so he's like, why can't I do anything else? I can't even talk, and I'm angry, and I'm a Decepticon bird. I love it. I've been on this Transformers kick, guys. I stayed home today from work, and I watched a lot of Transformers and G.I. Joe.
You may be able to tell by his voice and how sick he is, but he trooped it in because we got it the 2-parter tonight.
We got a 2-parter. So, but Laserbeak is my number 5.
Nice.
You like that?
I do. Laserbeak, never even heard of it, but
what? You know what I'm talking about, though? The guy with the tapes? You know what I'm talking about?
I know nothing about Transformers.
What?
Nothing.
I will make sure to get a picture in the inbox.
Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Nothing else I know. There's Decepticons and,
the Decepticon turns into a boombox.
And
Autobots.
He
shoots tapes out that turn into animals and birds and stuff. It's awesome.
That's sweet. I mean, I agree. That's sweet, but I don't pay attention.
So hateful.
No, I'm not hateful, dude. I just don't watch it.
I know.
Or read it, or whatever.
Anything else.
Dude, I can't. I went to all Transformers movies in the theater. So guess what?
Laserbeak was in that. It was just a horrible cameo.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. It's because it was so bad I barely even noticed.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're on to number 5.
So.
And so, did I go first?
I went first. So you're on number 5.
So that was your number 5? Laserbeak is your number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5 is Geppetto. Geppetto from Fables. This is a big spoiler, so hopefully Skylar catches this a little bit before, if you're going to jump onto Fables. But he ends up being the biggest villain, the giant adversary that they call it, ends up being Geppetto, Pinocchio's dad. And Pinocchio's a character that you know right from the beginning. He's kind of a smart-ass kid who likes comics, and, it's kind of like fun. Him and, Fly are really good friends before Fly becomes, up to his full potential. And he's a great character. It's just funny that you see a hard-ass, hard prime Geppetto who's, not afraid to kill and maim and do horrible things to thousands of people for what he thinks is the greater good. He makes for a great villain. And it is a part of the original Fables idea that, that Bill Willingham had. And so, he's gone really on from there, and a lot of people have said it's boring, but I am still loving Fables. And that it's just so fun to remember that old part when, Geppetto, that was the big one, before Mr. Dark and before whatever we're going to go across next, with the North Winds. It's just fun, and it's fun. He was such a huge part, and a huge reveal, because you went, I'm saying 40 issues probably before you knew it was Geppetto, maybe even more. I don't know. It's been so long. We're on issue,
114.
114. So it's been a while ago, but great bad guy.
I like like that series. And
Yep.
I'm glad I jumped on.
Yep.
Alright, number 4, I put down Moonstone as Miss Marvel.
Dark Avengers!
Because, I mean, she threw the real Miss Marvel through a plane turbine. How gangster is that? She's like, bitch, I'm stealing your identity and your life. Like, that's cool to me. I think it's hilarious. It was a good set of issues. It was a Miss Marvel Dark Reign run. I'm glad I picked it up. It was fun, you know?
So do you think in real life, if Miss Marvel and Moonstone were facing off, who would win?
Moonstone.
Miss Marvel. Obviously.
I don't know. Proof's in the pudding, man. And Moonstone wiped the floor with her.
Yeah.
She came back just like all good Marvel characters do, of course, but that's just because of Stan Lee's good graces. Yeah.
I suppose. But of course, we're going to, of course, disagree because you're always going to err to evil.
I know.
Just kidding. But anyway, so I'm on what? 4. Number 4, this is a big one. Back to Fantastic Four, but also has been taken over to, the whole entire Marvel Universe and Cosmic. Galactus, the World Eater, huge part of the whole entire world. So Kirby inspired and Kirby made outfit and headdress and, being just a giant man-like figure that just is in outer space and eats worlds and has, these, what do you call them? Heralds that go and find this shit for him. And it's just kind of, he's a cool character that also sometimes is like becomes good and does good things, but so I mean, I'm surprised that you haven't had Galactus on your list yet. But maybe maybe that's just because I'm crazy.
Probably.
But anyway, that was my number 4.
Alright. Number 3, I put down Harley Quinn.
I like that choice, man.
And it's funny.
Number 3, all the way up at number 3. Harley Quinn.
There's 2 reasons for that. The first is the course set on issue 1 of the New 52. And the second reason is because I was watching the 90s Batman cartoon today, and there was an episode called Harley's Holiday where she tried to go straight, and it just didn't go so well for her.
Yep.
She's just way better.
I know that one.
Love that show, man. So, and I love Harley Quinn, so definitely number 3. Enough said.
That's good. Number 3 for me. We are doing number 3, Hair Star. Preacher, one of the most original bad guys of all time, but so bad that when you're reading it, you feel guilty. You feel like if you had any idea that you were like kind of maybe there's something out there and they would look down on me for some things. And reading Preacher and reading what Hair Star does, you're thinking, this is the kind of shit that you're going to get looked at. This cannot be good. I mean, he's like trying to take over heaven by controlling an inbred descendant of Jesus Christ who he loves having prostitutes because he just needs to get it out of his system. And then he realizes one day he gets raped. And he realizes how much he loves that. So then he's pissed at the person who does it because he realizes how much he loves, being raped. And then he has to pay other people to do this to him. And he's still trying to, he's like working, he's the head person working for heaven while all this is going on. So if you have any Christian values, you're really going to be offended if you read Preacher in the first place. But Hair Star is, a character that is so bad and so awesome and so he's upfront. He's blunt about everything. He's not shameful about anything he does, and it is hilarious. It makes for some of the greatest comics around, and he has such a good arc in Preacher, start to finish. I love it. So yeah, he's definitely number 3.
Nice. All right, number 2, Deathstroke.
Ooh, that's a nice number 2, man.
That's a nice number 2. That's a good silver medalist right there. I like the character a lot. I've talked about him, so I'm not going to say too much. But first issue, he kills off his whole team at the end of it. I mean, that's just kick-assery right there, impersonated. So there's one thing I'm glad I stuck with. It's definitely Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, because I like that Titans run before the New 52 started, where Deathstroke was leading that team of villains and addicts and whatever else. So it's cool. It's a cool character. I highly recommend it. There's a few people that mentioned they picked it up.
Yeah,
because we kept talking about it
Phil.
so much.
Phil picked it up because of that, and I really liked him in Identity Crisis. So I mean, Deathstroke is a cool character, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So that's my number 2.
Nice. Number 2 for me is Lex Luthor.
Moneybags.
You know, he's domination. I love how he's the character that, in his mind, he's a hero. He is the ultimate hero. That's my favorite part about Lex Luthor. Like, even though he does bad, he thinks that he is doing this for the people, stopping this evil alien that is Superman trying to act as a human, and it just
taking
disgusts
God's
him.
name in vain.
And just think of how much. Exactly.
Shout out to
GD.
Idiotville.
GD. Goddamn. No, it could not mean that.
Nah. It's probably Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, that means he just told him. He hates. Superman hates Jesus Christ.
So we can't sell any of his comics.
But anyway, check out previous issues if you. That's an insider one for some of you guys who've watched this for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, what's to say about Luthor? He's really powerful, super rich, super smart. If he brought any of his talents to making the world better, he would have. The world would be perfect 2 times over. But instead, he only hates Superman.
Have him and Bruce Wayne ever bumped heads at like a high-end gathering? That kind of thing?
I've read that a few different times. Yep,
Nice.
that's a very normal thing.
Yeah.
Because Bruce Wayne, the person, and Luthor, the person, are on normal paths, and Luthor thinks that Bruce Wayne is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, he has no idea that he's Batman, and he thinks that Bruce Wayne is just some sort of moron.
closet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways.
All right, number 1.
Alright, well, campaign disagreement is in the house. Number 1, I put down Magneto. I declined comment earlier, and the only reason I put it down with that is that's just such a great in-depth character, which Tom looks for in some of his characters, you'll notice. So we agree on some things, we just don't agree on the characters. And that's totally cool. That just shows that everyone's going to have a way different list. The thing that stood out to me most was the X-Men First Class portrayal of the character with the Jewish background. I thought that was just incredibly powerful and relevant for audiences today. And then just as a character, leading the Acolytes, which is one of my favorite terrorist mutant teams, they're cool. So I love the character as a whole. And I fell off the X-Men Legacy though, just because that was kind of, Rogue and Magneto holding hands and Gambit crying in the background. I wasn't feeling it.
For years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while, so I fell off of that. But yeah, as a character, that's my number 1. I'd say he stood out.
Nice. I like that. That's your number 1, and that's a good one. And I like that you brought that up because I never thought about that. But yes, Magneto portrayed in First Class is my very favorite part of X-Men First Class. Is
one of the strong redeeming.
Yeah,
his actual class we were like.
Exactly, sucked. Magneto Nazi hunting.
Yeah.
I'd take that all day long.
Yeah.
Number 1, the Joker, the best, villain in comics. Period. I think if AJ Jackson really wanted a top 10 list of all time, I think Joker would still be at number 1.
Yeah.
He is the quintessential opposite of Batman, the quintessential greatest bad guy. What started out, he's one of the first, maybe if not the first villain of all time, and he is started so many others behind him to have a costume, have a gimmick, have a thing, and then have that main person you're against. And I love all the interactions, all the different takes on him. My favorite would be the Killing Joke, where he's the failed comedian, turned Red Hood under circumstances and became the Joker that way. That's my favorite legacy showing of him, and I think the Joker is such a good character. Every time I see him, he was great in the Dark Knight movies. He's been great in the animated films by Warner Brothers, and he's been great in the animated series. Mark Hamill just did equal to what he did as Luke Skywalker. He did as the Joker. if you ever look and see what the heart that he put into the Joker as during the animated series for those 4 or 5 years that it ran, it's crazy. You know, he would stand up the whole entire time, think so hard and about how he wanted to present it, and made the Joker such a relevant character to me as I grew up, in turn to love him in all these other ways and look at him. And so, Joker, number 1. Best villain of all time. Top 10 list.
All she wrote.
Comic book look. Issue number 33. Let's end this quick because we got to switch right over to the next ones. Heroes coming up next week. We'll see you in 7
days. So.
7 days or so. John's sick.
Oh, man.
All right, man. All right. Thank you guys for watching again. Check us out. comicbooklook@gmail.com. Hit up our Facebook group. All you got to do is search a comic book look. Just click the ad. We'll totally join it. We want everybody
Within
to join.
like 4 hours. Yeah, one of us is always on call. So
Totally.
Tom usually has his pager on during the night. So yeah, we're lightning fast, like Progressive Insurance. Yeah.
Exactly. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
And word up.
Word up. Keep it comics.